Good morning, my name is Audrey, and I'm going to be talking about mental health and how common it is in teenagers. So according to statistics, 21% of children ages 13 to 18 have some serious mental illness. That means, statistically speaking, 4 out of the 19 teenagers in this room could potentially have a serious mental illness. So again, the problem is very prevalent. I personally have known 11 people in the 18 years that I've been alive that have suffered from a serious mental illness, myself included. Now, 13% of children ages 8 to 15 have some serious mental illness. And that seems young, but I have a close friend who at the age of 11 struggled with depression and was contemplating suicide. At age 13, I suffered from the same mental health disorder, and the toll it took on me physically and mentally was indescribable. And lastly, I had a family member suffering from depression at the age of 15, and some days it was so bad that they couldn't muster the strength to get out of bed. In 1999, mental illness was the second leading contributor to U.S. disease, and now in 2000, only behind cardiovascular diseases. And now in 2017, neuropsychiatric disorders account for 28.5% of the nation's burden disease, and that's more than double that of cardiovascular disease. So there are signs of mental illness, and a lot of people just overlook them and write them off as, oh, she's a teenager, she sleeps a lot, or he's struggling in school, he just doesn't care. Many people say, oh, why didn't she just tell us, for example, she was depressed? Well, she did. She told you when she started hiding in her room. She told you when the cat suddenly started scratching at her more than usual. She told you when she wasn't hungry. She told you when she stopped doing her schoolwork and cried when you called her lazy. She told you when she spent an hour in the shower and came out with puffy eyes. She told you. The thing about depression is that it's quiet, it isn't loud, and the reason you didn't hear it is because you weren't really listening. People don't understand that there are mental health red flags, and here are some of them. The change in feelings, loss of interest in regular activities, change in sleeping habits, whether it's less or more, low amount of energy, difficulty interacting with peers, appetite or weight changes, whether it's gaining weight or losing weight, and uncontrollable emotions. So in our society, we don't really accept and show empathy for people suffering with mental illness. Not a lot of people understand what empathy is, and I didn't understand what empathy really was when I started this project, so I looked it up. I have a definition. So empathy is an ability to experience emotions that match another person's emotions, to know what the other person is thinking or feeling, and to blur the line between oneself and another. So basically, empathy is the ability to understand other people, recognize their pain, and have an instinctual desire to help. Mental illness is painful, and it's hard, and people looking at you funny and talking about you when you're not around, it doesn't help. Having a friend and feeling like you're not the only person in the world that's feeling that way helps. So, now, where to get help? You're not alone. Mental health is really hard to cope with. It's really hard, like I said. And even now, sometimes I wonder if I didn't have anxiety, what would life be like? Would I be more personal, more comfortable with myself? So there are places to get help, and here are some of them. The Traumatic Loss Coalitions for Youth, or TLC, is New Jersey's primary youth suicide prevention program at Rutgers University. It includes hotlines and relevant articles vetted by TLC, and it also includes a parent section with resources on how to understand and handle a child's grief or emotional crises. It also includes a video by Olympic gold medalist Lori Hernandez, who reminds her fellow teens that seeking help isn't a weakness and that they should use the site as a resource to connect in difficult times. Another hotline is a text hotline. It's 741-741, and it's good because it's a text hotline. So if you don't want to talk to someone like over the phone or in person, you get to talk to a therapist, and you don't have to. It's just a text hotline. And the last one is 1-800-273-8255, and that one is 24 hours a day, and it's an online chat. And the good thing about all of these are that it's confidential. So if there's someone you don't want knowing, they don't have to know. Mental health isn't a joke or something for people to talk about when they're bored. It's a serious problem that affects the lives of so many people around you. And it's important to be empathetic and understanding of these people.